Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. Today's video is a little bit different. Today I'm just going to talk. I want to vibe a little bit. I want to talk about what I expect this offense to look like, what I expect from the players in this offense, and ultimately what that means, for the future of the New York Giants. So please just vibe with me. Put your comments down below. Any questions you have, put the comments down below. And I'm just going to vibe with you guys a little bit about what I think this offense is going to look like. And again, we've seen minimal amount of tape clips of team activities. Even though we've seen a lot, we have not seen a lot. Even though they had the fans in the building for practices, and we have clips over social media, over all of social media. I'm pretty sure we still haven't seen 50% of what this offense is going to look like, going into this season. But I do have some ideas because I'm looking at the history of Brian Daboll. I'm looking at Mike Kafka in Kansas City, and how he comes from that Andy Reid tree and how he played for Andy Reid in Philadelphia. I'm trying to see, or in my head, I'm trying to envision what to expect for this offense. So please just vibe with me. Now, when I think about this mixture of this offense, what I'm really thinking about is, okay, now we know what Brian Daboll did in Buffalo, and we know how Patrick Mahomes looked in Kansas City. So how do you mix those up? That's the first initial thoughts, is how do you mix this thing up and create this Giants offense? So what I was thinking about, and early we see how Saquon Barkley is going to be used, or we have an idea of how Saquon Barkley is going to be used. And more than ever, we've seen him in the passing game, being used in the passing game in practice. That's what we hear about. Oh, he's motioning out. He's in the slot. He's running routes and things like that. And so what I started to think about was not Kansas City. I started to think about those Andy Reid coached Philadelphia Eagles. And as much me being rivals with Philadelphia Eagles as a Giants fan, how much I hate the Eagles, I try to be unbiased when I'm thinking about what that offense looked like, with Brian Westbrook and Donovan McNabb. And I think that if I want to make a comparison, I think they used Saquon Barkley like they did Brian Westbrook. If you guys remember Brian Westbrook, they used the short passing game as an extension to the running game in those early Philadelphia years with Andy Reid and Brian Westbrook. And I can see them already using that for Saquon Barkley because he is a mismatch. If you get him lined up with linebackers for coverage, I'm taking that every time with Saquon Barkley, because there's no way that a linebacker is going to be able to stay with Saquon Barkley. So when I think about Saquon Barkley, I'm thinking about Brian Westbrook in that Philadelphia Andy Reid type offense. Now, just moving the positions, right? So now I'm thinking about Kadarius Toney, and I'm thinking about who on the Bills or who on Kansas City is that Toney role going to be, matched with. And I'm thinking about Stefon Diggs. You got him lined up outside, can play a little inside as well. Crafty. If he perfects his route running, he's going to be a dangerous player. He's already dangerous right now, but if he perfects his route running, he might be unguardable. And that could be me being biased here, but I'm just seeing Kadarius Toney in that Stefon Diggs role. If we're going to take Stefon Diggs from Buffalo, that's Kadarius Toney. Those type of plays, great routes, crisp routes, getting the ball in his hands and letting him get those yardage. I don't see a mix of like people love to say, oh, he's going to be like, they're going to use him like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is different because of his size and speed, but he also could line up and take it deep. Kadarius Toney is not a take the roof off type of guy, but he still has the ability in one-on-one coverage. He's going to be a hard take for any cornerback to be able to cover this guy one-on-one and man-to-man. Now, just switching, and like I said, I'm just vibing. Next thing I'm going to talk about is is Wandell Robinson. Now, I think Wandell Robinson more of that Tyreek Hill type of position when it comes to this offense. Again, not the Tyreek Hill speed, fly routes, go routes, none of that. Those deep developing routes, none of that, because you have to have the line for that. You got to have a quarterback that can create plays in order for something like that to develop. But just think about all of the shorter routes, the end arounds, the reverses, the slants, the crossing routes, things like that, the medium crossing routes. That's where I think Wandell Robinson fits in the picture if we're going to be comparing, these offenses. Now, the funny thing is now, and that's Wandell Robinson. So just think of that Tyreek Hill without the deep stuff. That's my idea of Wandell Robinson. Now, when I get to Gallaudet, so Kenny Gallaudet, right? And it's going to sound super funny because Gallaudet is making wide receiver 1 money. But when I look at Gallaudet, I think of Gabe Davis in Buffalo. Not saying, okay, he's just a third receiver now. No, I'm thinking about the routes that Gabe Davis would run. And I'm thinking, okay, that's how we use Kenny Gallaudet. Because when everybody's worried about Tony, they're worried about Saquon Barkley. They're worried about Wandell Robinson. And then now you have Kenny Gallaudet. If you can get him in matchups and on one-on-one matchups, that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see Kenny Gallaudet one-on-one. Because he doesn't make great separation or get great separation, but with his size and his catch radius, he's going to get those 50-50 balls. So if we can get him in that position where he's getting those targets, because I think his targets go down, but I think his average per catch is going to go up this year. He really can't do anything but get better from what he put on the field last year. But just saying, to me, that Gabe Davis role, even, and it's crazy to say this, even a mixture of what Kelsey did in Kansas City. So you have what Gabe Davis did on the outside, and then what Travis Kelsey did when he was working in those zones and finding an open spot. That's where I see Kenny Gallaudet in this offense this year. And again, I keep saying that this is just me vibing and thinking about this offense and what to expect. Now, when it comes to Daniel Jones, this is everything. Everything is on the shoulders of Daniel Jones. Obviously, the offensive line matters, but as far as where this team goes, we go how Daniel Jones goes. And I already like these matchups because you have a lot of options. You have Barkley, Tony, Wandell Robinson, Gallaudet, all these guys on the field at the same time. So you expect somebody to be open, and I expect with a good coaching staff that you scheme guys open. This is millennial football. We're in this decade now. Dable is bringing a new vibe, a new offense. Kafka is bringing a new vibe, a new offense. So I don't expect any of that. I can't take the PTSD with me, to this regime and this coaching staff. So what I'm going to say is I do expect this team to look a lot different. Absolutely a lot different, but not different from Buffalo and also different from Kansas City. I'm thinking more of that Philadelphia, Donovan McNabb, Brian Westbrook for Saquon Barkley. I like Stephon Diggs as a Kadarius Toney, or Kadarius Toney as a Stephon Diggs role. I like Wandell Robinson as the Tyreek Hill in that short passing game role. And again, Gabe Davis, Travis Kelsey, that's Kenny Gallaudet, how he fits in this system. So that's just me vibing with you. If you guys agree, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any other ideas, please let me know in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys think as well. We're 1 week away from the preseason. I can't wait to see what this offense looks like in a game scenario. They have the blue and white game scrimmage later today, so I don't expect to see a lot there, but hopefully it looks more and feels more like a game than these practices have with the 11 on 11s, 7 on 7, things like that, 9 on 7s, everything that they do in practice. I hope it's more of a game scenario where they're getting first downs, they're keeping up, they treat it like a real game. So and that's what I expect. But that's just me vibing with you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. From one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.